that Caleb Conference will be treated like a church event. I don't really need this right now. Are we streaming now? Okay. So this is the last year Caleb Conference will be treated like a church event. For me, our church at one point was hosting national gatherings, and we were doing really innovative, cutting edge kind of things. And streaming, I guess I'm telling my business. And then we got conservative. And I hear you. And conservatism is when you don't think you can walk and chew gum at the same time. And my frustration as a leader in this community with us as a people is sometimes we're so intimidated by the option of opposition till we negotiate our pace to not offend people who like slow. I was really good, and I can't believe y'all didn't like stand up and give me a standing ovation. That was so repostable. No, then seriously. And so when we went into this year, the Lord was very clear with me that we're not rebuilding, we're not resetting, we are progressively moving forward, and we're reclaiming our rightful place as a leader of ministry innovation. I don't do second. In my 29 years here, churches have mimicked us. Choose one. And I'm saying it, and they know it. So my desire is for this church to be what it has been always assigned to do and be. So this is the last year we do Caleb as a weekend for us. This is a national call to be aggressive, to be innovative, and to be responsive to the opportunities before us. So what God did was, God gave us the discernment to identify within our own church persons that could fit this season. And so we have two presenters, and they are our partners. Can we celebrate Lynn? Stand up, Lynn. And I don't know if Tamika's in the room right now, in the building. She's in the back, okay. And Tamika Holly, and they're gonna lead the breakouts. But when I really started thinking about what should this look like, it dawned on me, Tiffany trying to act like that ain't her child. She's like, I don't know this black little girl hollering, mommy, looking directly at me, and I'm looking straight ahead like I had nothing to do with her getting here. When you're family, you don't have uncomfortable moments. Listen, I ain't tripping last night. Last night, her granddaughter was in rare form. Like, yeah, her granddaughter was in rare form last night. Yeah, they're my grandchildren when they do right. They her grandchildren when they in rare form. And so the important lesson, relationships will always be how God moves you in a new space. So if you're inadequate in terms of relationships, there are going to be a lot of doors that won't open because God can't trust you with people. I said something profound again, and nobody, I mean, I'm like really good today, and y'all are acting like, I'm in Caleb moment today, right? And so the Lord began to deal with me about the fact that we didn't need to cheat the moment. Now, we don't have no exorbitant budget for this. And so what's happened over the last few months is somebody who God connected to us years ago when he served here at the Bethel Church. He served at Bethel, but St. Paul was like a home for him as well. He was one of the key figures in the first Operation Save Our Son Summit. And then God opened this wide door for him. And he went away, and he began working with Dave Ramsey, and he exploded on the scene and became a voice to millennials, a big voice. And then, and I'll let him tell his story if he chooses to, and then God opened the door, and he went on his own, and he is just doing it. And so a few months ago, I don't even know how, did I reach out to you? Did you reach out to me? Or did we reach out to each other? Yeah, and he said, I want to go to school, And again, he could tell his own story. He said, I want to go to school. I said, okay. I said, well, I know somebody who's a dean. And he said, I know. He said, so I want to go to school. I said, okay. And we got him in school. And, he's working on his degrees, simultaneously. He's working on his degrees. And, it's amazing what God has done with Anthony O'Neill. He was on Good Morning America yesterday. He's got a new book out that we're going to buy. And I'm excited because we needed to stretch beyond safe today. The Caleb Conference is designed to stretch you beyond safe. This year, I'm defining discipleship as aggressive living, not as the memorization of the Bible. This year is the year that we're Matthew 5. A city that sat on a hill cannot be hid. This is the year God makes folk pay attention, because you are so excellent in the way you manage life. So like co-pastor and I are relaunching Your Marriage Matters. And I'm taking a book I did before the pandemic and relaunching it. I saw Meacham yesterday in Orlando. I called Larry, and we did music that was so good. And Meacham and Larry have agreed to partner with me to remaster and release our music. This is the year of aggression. You can't be a spectator anymore and be a member of this church. And I don't want to hear your opinion if there's no evidence you're trying. Don't give me no advice when what I'm getting from you is mediocrity. I don't want to have anybody, I'm telling everybody, anybody close to me, if you ain't hungry, starve. But don't get offended when other folk keep eating. This is that year, and Caleb Conference for me this year is the launching of something very different, very new. And so we want to take a risk, and we did. And that risk was, I'm sitting in a meeting with the staff, and I said, you know what, we got to invite somebody who can really speak to this season we're in. And I looked up and I said, you know what, I'm going to call Anthony. That's how you got here. I said, you know what, we need somebody that can really, I'm calling Anthony. And guess what I did? Call Anthony. And guess what he did? He answered the phone. He said, hey, Bishop, Dean. People don't know what to call me. I got so many titles. I said, man, what you doing? He said, well, I'm flying out to L.A., and then I got to be in New York, and then I got to be in Atlanta. He said, but I ain't doing nothing that Saturday. I said, well, come to Jacksonville. Bet. I said, so what we need to give you? He said, a ticket. Whew. He said, a ticket. That boy ain't cheap. Look at him nodding his head. He ain't even pretending. He ain't even pretending. He like, no, I'm not cheap. I said, so what you want us to do? He said, I'm bringing my books. This is my newest book. And he said, Bishop, and here's the lesson, and I will turn over to him. He said, you've been so good to me over the years. Relationship is what we do. I keep telling y'all, stop being mean to people because you don't know who's going to blow up. You up here rolling your eyes at people who may be the next. And so I'm excited because Caleb Conference, which is never going to be the same after today, we're honored to have one of the most significant voices in the country right now. And I'm looking forward to what God's going to say through him. So can we stand and put our hands together for our hometown guy, Anthony O'Neal.
We are streaming, so I got to use this, right? All right, sounds good. Come on, y'all, let's pray real quick because I know I have time and I want to get to these other sessions because I'm looking forward to learning myself. But dear Heavenly Father, God, we thank you for this time of us coming together as we just go deeper into learning, God, how to be visionaries, how to not just be a visionary from a spiritual perspective, but how do we be visionaries that impacts our homes, that impacts our communities, and the reserves, the fruit of that comes back into the church, and our church reaches the world. But we understand, God, that it starts with us, it begins with us. So God, speak to me, your son, and through me, your son, as I inspire hopefully, God, with what you've given me, God. So thank you as we end this prayer and as we dive in. Amen and amen. Y'all have a seat. Y'all, I don't preach when you come to St. Paul because y'all have one of the best preachers and teachers in the world. So I left my Bible in the car. If y'all want Bible, come back tomorrow morning, be on time because between your bishop and your co-pastor, I will be crazy to sit here and try and preach, man. But can we just celebrate the visionary of this house, Bishop Dean, Dr. John Guns, and then the co-visionary. I was wondering, like, why is this Kappa man so smooth? You know, because he got that smooth lady right next to him, boy. I said, come on now. I said, this man, he got the smooth walk. You know what I'm saying? He called me, he said, hey man, the doctor said I got the walk. I said, now that's smooth walk because of your wife, bro. Don't play like that. And I pray that one day I will be able to get there, y'all. And I seriously mean this. When Bishop called me, any other person, they would have got to know. I'm tired. I'm traveling the world left and right. And he's right. I can say this boldly and respectfully. I ain't cheap at all. I'm black. So I'm trying to wear a black woman, and she ain't cheap. Y'all know that. So I got to get some money. So when I get married, you know what I'm saying, I have some money. But when he called me, there's no way in the world I could ask this man who knew me when I was 24 and said, hey, I see you doing the great things at Bethel. I have something that I want to do, and I want to bring you over here to help us. And St. Paul is just as much as a home as Bethel Church is. And so anytime Bishop calls me, I would never charge him because of the truth of the fact is, and we're talking about vision, right? July 1st of 2024, I turned 40. I was in Italy, and I woke up thinking I was going to have a good time. I'm just going to be honest with y'all because I'm home. But no, I didn't wake up having a good time. God woke me up and said, you're going back to school. He said, because there's two things right now that I need you to understand, that people can discredit you and disbelieve you.
Wow.
He said, right now, out of all that you've accomplished, people can discredit you and also not believe you. He said, the disbelief, I have no problem with that because people don't believe me. But they can't discredit what I've done. And he was like, and the problem with you, Anthony, is you've built this, but you don't have, unfortunately, some form of a formal education behind you. And so now, respectfully saying this, I'm looking around the room because I don't want to get in no trouble, but white people can discredit me because I don't have the education. I said, well, God, I said, I'm going to be real with you. I said, well, God, I don't need no school. I got money. And I'm debt free. Like, I don't, school. You want me to go back and pay for school? He said, I didn't say you're going to pay for school. He said, you're going back to school. And I was like, education? And he said, yes, you need it. And you're going to learn. And I never forget. I said, okay, I'm in Italy. And now, my July 1st, I was a little discouraged. I'm thinking about to have a good time. I'm thinking in my head, if I don't go back to school, God's going to get me. On my 40th birthday. But God gave me the vision. He said, in 2026, your next book is coming out. I need you to have a title behind that so no one can discredit that book. The book that you put out right now, that's cool, that's great. But the next one is your money book. And I don't need no one to be able to say, I can't read that. He has no education. He has it. But you've built all of this. And your community will see it. But I need you to understand, for a season, I need you to see the vision for the future, that I need you to get this. So when this comes, it goes further than what you can imagine. So I come back home, I'm praying. I'm like, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And literally, just how he called me in the meeting, I am sitting down with Lexi Allen. She's doing my show, and she's talking about how she's in school. She's going to graduate. I said, well, sis, where you in school? She's like, I'm at Virginia Union. I was like, Virginia Union? I said, wait up. We was about to shoot the show. My staff is upset. I pick up my phone. I call him. He didn't pick up. I ain't gonna lie. He was in a meeting. But I would definitely say, I sent him a voice note. I said, Bishop, he hit me up right when he joined Virginia Union a long time ago. I was still, knucklehead somewhat in my head. I was like, I don't need no school. I got money. And he told me about it. I called him. I said, Bishop, I apologize. My voice note to him. I apologize. I didn't listen to you earlier. Because the truth of the fact is, that was God speaking to him when he reached out to me, because I had just transitioned from Dave Ramsey. And if I would have listened to him then, I would already have my doctorate today. This could have been Dr. Anthony on this book. But because I didn't see the vision, because I didn't understand, I ignored. And so I think sometimes what I've learned is, when God speaks, I just got to move. And so when God spoke to me with Lexi, she was like, what are you doing? I literally was calling Bishop while she was telling me about school. I said, because I can't ignore it. I know what God told me on July 1st. I'm sitting with her September. I call him. He doesn't pick up. He's in a meeting. But one thing about him is that when I do text, he always returns the phone call. He sends me back a voice note. Anthony, it's time. Call me when you get done. I'm in school 2 weeks later. I'm in Ghana, Africa, in school. I'm like, this is real. But I'm excited about it. And that's just the spirit of your leader, y'all, who just, moved some doors and just really got me in. And then when I walk into school, I think it's so dope. And I'm going to get to my lesson. We're going to get started. Because I look at everything now. At 40, I'm looking at everything. So when I walk into class, right, who's the first person I see? It's Bishop. Who's the second person I see? His wife. She's sitting in the back corner. Who's the third person I see? Their daughter. I said, yo, the Guns family ain't playing. Where one is, she gonna be. Where the other one is, they gonna be. I said, okay then. I said, God, I need a wife like that, Lord. Wherever I'm at, just have her in the corner praying for me, Lord. If we have a child, let the child be right next to her. And if she's married, let that Negro be a good man. Because it's important, because Here's what I've learned. The reason why his vision is so powerful because he has a great partner with that vision. And so what I'm learning is that I can't have a vision, right? I cannot have a vision and not have a good partner. Can't. And so I want y'all to take out your phones. I'm going to break this stuff down. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of my story. How much time do I have, Bishop? What time do I need to be done for the other workout sessions? Because what time does the next session start? Tell me so I can. I'm not Bishop, so I'm going to be on time. This is his house. Yeah, just tell me, brother, so I can get up out of here because I don't want to delay the breakout sessions. 10:15. Okay, cool. That's fine. We got 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm not a lone preacher. I get in and get on out. All right. Let me give y'all a little 5 minutes about me because I don't think some of you all know, remember me. I remember some of y'all have one of the best executive assistants here in the world, Miss Sharon. I would hire her, but Bishop will cut me off. So can't do that one. But if she ever needed a job, Miss Sharon, you have a job with me. But no, I love Miss Sharon. So y'all, I would say about, man, this is crazy. I'm 40. So I would say 22 years ago, graduated high school in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I grew up in a very strong Christian faith home, right? And so my mom, my biological mom and my stepdad were stationed in California at Camp Pendleton, all right? And so my dad is a Marine, hoorah to him. My biological father and my other mother, I hate the term step. I have 4 great, loving parents who I love equally. So my biological father and my other mother live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He just retired, and I moved them back home to Columbia, South Carolina, where I built them their retirement home, right? And so both of them served 30 plus years in the Army. But pray for me because I'm still going to therapy for this. My mama grew me up Southern Baptist. My dad grew me up Church of God in Christ. Wow. I go from Baptist, to there ain't no shouting. If you shout, the ushers come around you with 2 hands. Calm down, baby. Yes, slower. Calm down. Then when you go to Kojic, no, you better shout and run and Terry and pass out and do flips on the floor. I'm like, what's going on? I remember the first time I got with my daddy. My daddy said, boy, you okay? I said, no, are y'all okay? Y'all do, what is all this white stuff coming out y'all mouth? Ew. Then what was confusing about me, Bishop, is I will go back home. So I'll get into shouting, Jesus, go back home. They're like, are you okay? I'm like, no, are you okay? And I am confused because I'm like, okay, what is God? Because it is night and day. I'm like Baptist or Kojic because this is 2 different cultures. Now, the word was the same, somewhat, right? But the experience of it wasn't. But the truth of the fact is, I am a Pentecostal guy, right? Like, I just, when the Spirit move, I want to move. That's what I love about St. Paul. You know what I'm saying? It's like when the Spirit move here, y'all gonna move. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still Baptists. When I was here at St. Paul, something Baptist, right? And so I'm like, there ain't nothing Baptist about this church. But anyways, let me be quiet. I won't get in no trouble. I respect this house. But I'm like, this ain't Baptist when I came up in here. This ain't Baptist. I don't see no ushers around people. No. I see shouting. And there ain't no Baptist preacher. Anyways, and so, man, listen, I graduated high school, and I'm going to be honest with you all. I graduated high school, what's the proper way of saying this? We have young people in here, pure. I graduated high school, couldn't even go to prom. Graduated high school, couldn't even go on a date. Graduated high school, could not even spend a night with my homeboys because my mom and daddy always believed if we put you in that environment, something could come out of it. So I knew the Bible. I was an adjutant. I was an armor bearer for my pastor. To this day, I'm 40, but I still act like I'm 55 sometimes. I have an old soul because my parents always kept me around the pastor and carrying his stuff, right? So can you only imagine what happened when I got into college? Long Beach State, Los Angeles, California. That's where you see a little bit of everything what God can create. Walked onto the college campus. I said, my God, if there was any evidence that God is real, it is right here on this campus. You see all these beautiful black ladies, white ladies, Mexican ladies, black and white mixed ladies, black, white, Mexican, Filipino mixed ladies. I'm like, well, God is good. Y'all, I make a long story short because I want to give you all this stuff here, man. I made some bad decisions in school because I was free. One thing about my parents that I say this openly, but I say it with love, they sheltered me, but they didn't teach me how to adapt to the world. And so when I got into the world taught me how to be a man. My parents taught me how to be a man of God, but not a man in the everyday world. So when I got there, ladies taught me what a man should be. My friends taught me what a man should be. MTV Cribs taught me what I should aim for. BET 106 in Park showed me how a man should dress. But my parents never instilled in me what does success look like for a man first who is a man of God. So y'all, I racked up about $35,000 worth of debt within 6 months of me being 18 years old. I got credit card out the craziness. I took out student loans. I didn't even need student loans because I had my father's GI Bill. Man, I was driving a 1987 Nissan Maxima. I could not even go in reverse, but I had 22-inch wheels on them. Y'all, homeless 19, $35,000 in debt. I'm scared. I'm like, what's going on? And long story short, I got my life put back together, went home, told my fathers, I was like, yo, I'm not a man. I'm a young man. I'm ready to become one. I learned. Got 2 jobs, paid off all my debt, became a youth pastor, transferred here to Jacksonville, Florida, worked for Bishop Rudolph McKissick Jr., partnered with you all here. Then I just really drew this passion of finances, specifically for people of color, with the emphasis on younger people. Because what we identify as success and wealth is correlated with money for this younger generation. So if I want to be successful, I better have a bag. Ladies are saying it on social media, not the ladies in this room, but I can't date a broke man. I can't date a man who only makes $40,000 a year. I can't date a man if he makes less money than me. And so now that's inside the man's head, and it's like, wait, I better make some money. And what we do is we take away the vision of the man and we force him into the present only. Because now it's like, I can't think about tomorrow, because if I want to get her today, I better do this today. And so now we have a bunch of men walking around visionless because they want to make money so they can get the lady. And then ladies are walking around visionless because it's like, wait a minute. I need me a man to pay my bills. So we're not thinking about the future. And so I grew this. I was like, yo, God, I got to help this generation out. So I started teaching that at Bethel. And I said, you know, Dave Ramsey hears about it. He was like, yo, man, I love what you're doing. I need someone to come do this. He calls Bishop McKissick. They have a conversation. He gives me his blessings. I leave. I get there. I can say this respectfully because I'm home. I love white people. But sometimes I question them. And I'm not there anymore. Because I realized that when I got there, there's nothing wrong with submitting to another vision. Watch this. When you submit, the reason why y'all can submit to his vision is because your vision is in alignment with his vision. And I think we forget that I still have a vision from God. And my vision doesn't go away because of the man of God. If I attach to him, which I have been, right? It should align with his, help his, and in his helps mine. But if I attach to someone else's vision and my vision is gone, that's not alignment. You're in the wrong house, you're in the wrong place, or maybe you don't have the right vision yourself. And so when I got there, I was like, yeah, this is weird. I know God called me here, but I can't do this, and I got to do that. And I started feeling like, wait, something's missing. And you know what happens when we don't have vision? You start making decisions that you're not proud of. And so I'm sitting here like, why am I doing this? Why do I feel not completed? Why do I feel like I'm not doing? Because you don't have a vision. You lost yours to serve someone else's. And so I was like, well, God, what am I supposed to do? It's time for you to go. 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 I said, well, God, okay. I want you to write this down. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. It's not deep, but it's practical. I want you to write this down. Vision is not just about seeing the future. It's about creating it. And the truth of the fact is you have the power to shape the life you desire starting today. Say it one more time. Vision is not about just seeing the future, y'all. It's not. It is about creating it. I don't care if you're 25 in the room. I don't care if you're 60 in the room. If you have a tomorrow, you have the capabilities of creating it. You have the capabilities of creating it. My last 2 years with my last situation, right? My last situation, I knew that I was going to be transitioning. God said, you're going to be a good steward here, but when you go home, forget about it. I need you to work on what's coming next. So I had to sit back and be like, okay, God, what is next? So I literally started writing down on my board what's going to happen 2 years from now. I said, well, God, I want to be able to get back into the African-American, black community, low-income community. God, when I get there, this is what I want to do. He said, good, great. Write it down. Then he asked me this question. Why? He said, why? This is what I told him. I want to make a lot of money. He said, why again? I said, what you mean, why? I told you, man. I'm tired of working for someone else. He said, yes, then you're going to fail. If you only want to do that solely to just make a lot of money, you are going to fail. I said, why? He said, because the obstacles that's going to come getting there. Write this down, St. Paul, write this down. If your why for your vision doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will. Wow. If your why for your vision doesn't make you get emotional, doesn't make you cry, then the price of the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next 6 months, the price is going to make you cry. And I said, well, God, what do you mean? He said, boy, do you know how many times I cried for y'all? He said, but my why was so much deeper. That even when the people who I was dying for betrayed me, I still stuck to the vision. He says, so on this journey, when it comes to accomplishing your vision, whether that's to be a good father, whether that's to be a good mother, whether that's to build wealth, whether that's to get out of debt, whether that's to start a business, whether that's to start a church, whether that's to start the ministry inside of this church, if your why doesn't make you cry, you're going to quit. He said, because your why better get so emotional that no matter what God allows to come in your way. And I want to pause right there. Just because a speed bump comes, we give the devil too much credit. We give the devil too much credit. I'm in the gym. I'm trying to keep this body right. I'm throwing weight up. And it's heavy. And it hits my chest because I can't get it back up. That ain't the devil. I'm just weak. It's like when something bad, that's the devil. I rebuke the devil. No, you need to get stronger. No, that's just God saying, hey, you're not ready for that just yet, but keep going. And the devil be down there laughing like, I ain't do that, but thank you. And God be shaking his head. Boy, man, listen, y'all. I mean, the devil, he there. He there for real. But he still got to report to me. And if I don't want him to touch you, he ain't going to touch you. But that speed bump along your journey, I put that there. Why? Because sometimes when we walk, we don't put any extra effort into our legs. So God wants you to stretch the legs to keep the legs healthy. So he puts that speed bump to force you to raise your leg to get over it.
But sometimes when you're just walking, we get so comfortable and our legs get comfortable that God says, no, I need you to stretch them a little bit. Because what's coming, you're going to have to jump. So I'm going to put a speed bump where you got to just stretch them a little bit so when you get there, you can jump. But no, Christians, man, we want... God, I ain't had no issue. That's God. No, it ain't. But the problem is, you had no issues, you saw that speed bump. So you went a mile around to avoid the speed bump. Then when you get to where God wanted you to be, you're not ready for it because you avoid the obstacle. Whenever I see something coming my way, I laugh at it now. I'm like, okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. My book came out. We sold 10,000 books in 1 week, right? Thank you. 10,000 books in 1 week. New York Times called and told me why I did not make the list. Can't say why because I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'll put it like this. Because of my past and who you're connected to. That particular individual said some things while I was particularly there. And so because I was there and because if you get the book and read it, you will see. I said something positive about that because I'm always going to honor who took care of me. And so, well, because of that, we need to see how associated or how disassociated you are. So I knew that going into writing this book, watch this, that I was going to face that obstacle. I could have went around it and not put that person inside the book. But if I would have did that, I would not be honoring God. So I knew the obstacle. I said, well, do I want to get New York Times? Or do I want to sell books and be proud of the book that I wrote? I want to be proud of the book that I wrote. I want to center that book. I put it in there and didn't make the list. And I said, okay. That's just an obstacle I get over. I get over that. But God said, because you were obedient, I sold 10,000 books. I said, well, New York Times? Well, 10,000 books. New York Times did that. Y'all understand the average author sells 1,000 books their entire life. But because when we're obedient, God can move things tremendously. I said, but okay, I see the obstacle coming, God. I know the vision. This is the foundation of where I'm going. I had to write this book first because my next book, Stop Living Paycheck to Paycheck and Build Wealth That Exceeds You, is coming out next year. But I can't talk about wealth without talking about, we got to take a seat at our table first. And so I had to be proud of this book because I knew God, he going to bless me. I said, okay, God, I'm going to get through this obstacle. I'm going to keep on going. But I didn't go around the corner. I didn't go, no. I said, I'm sticking to the vision. I want y'all to do this real quick because I'm not here to preach to you. This is Caleb Conference. This is for you. I need you to take out your phones. If you're married, I need you to look at your husband, look at your wife inside the face. Okay? Hopefully they brushed their teeth this morning. If they didn't, if y'all married, you know how they smell. God bless you. I think that's a good thing about being single. I don't know how she smelled yet. Yes, Lord. If you're here with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, grab by the hand. I need y'all to do this real quick because we got a little bit of time. I need you to ask your wife, ask your husband, and if you're single, I need you to spend 1 minute. I need you to write down your why. And now watch this. Before you do this, y'all, hear me clearly. If you're watching this online, I need you to do this. Don't put whatever your vision is. I want you to write down whatever that is. If that's to build wealth, if that's to get out of debt, if that is to start a ministry, if that is to get an elevation on your career, whatever your vision is, what is the next 5 years? We heard Bishop say, man, the Caleb Conference is not going to be the same. We are going back to this. He just casted vision, right? What is the vision for your home, for your house, for your business? Write that down. Then I want you to ask yourself, why? I need you to write down the actual why. 30 seconds. My why, my vision is that when I turn, watch this, 60, I'm 40 in 20 years, I will no longer have to exchange my time for money. That when I'm 60, that if I'm blessed to have kids, that I've never been to Disney World to this day. Disney World, Disneyland, because I don't have any kids and my mom and dad couldn't afford to take us to Disney World or Disneyland. So I refuse to go to Disney World or Disneyland until I am married and with a child. Growing up, why do I want to be a homeowner? Because me and my siblings had to share one bedroom because my grandmother stayed in the other room and my mom and dad stayed in the other room. We had 3 bedrooms. Growing up, French toast to this day is my favorite meal. I can eat French toast at 8 o'clock at night because growing up, we always had eggs, milk, and bread. We can make food. So I didn't know we were broke because my mom and dad always made sure we had sugar. The vision for me, I don't want a home because I just want to say I have a nice home. No, I want a home that my family can raise up in and my kids have their own room. I want to be able to take my kids to Disneyland, not on a credit card, but pay cash for it and see my kids smiling. And I'm probably going to be just as old as them because it's going to be my very first time. You know what my vision is that I've never gone to anywhere out of the country when I was young. I already have a savings account for my family for us to go to Israel. So when I have a child, I can take them to the land where Jesus walked at 10 years old. And we're going to take their Bible and schoolwork and educate them on what God is doing and what the world is doing in Israel. Turn their Bible into actual reality. That's vision. And when I think about that, I get emotional. Because how many black children can say, my mom and daddy already did that for me? I felt this, and I'm trying to get emotional because, you know, I desire this, right? I'm gonna be honest and put myself out there and be vulnerable. I'm learning to be more vulnerable, so y'all pray for me. I told a young lady, I said, girl, I'm gonna take you all over the world. She was like, ooh, really? I said, I sure am, girl. I was dating her. I was like, girl, I'm gonna take you all over. Where you wanna go? She said, I wanna go to Greece. I said, girl, Greece, that ain't nothing. I'll take you, girl. That night, God said, you impressed my daughter. I said, I sure did. Make sure no other man can impress your daughter when you have one. Wow. I sat there, I was like, wasn't expecting that. He said, because no man should walk up to her and feel more impressed by a man over her father. The response from my daughter should have been, my daddy already did that. So you got to step up to the plate. Greece, my dad took me there when I was 15. we 30 now. What you going to do with me at 30? We got to start raising the bar. And so the vision is that I can set the standard. I can set the standard so when a man walks into my daughter's life, hopefully when I'm married, my wife will set the standard so when my son meets a woman, he knows how to deal with that because of what we've said. When I think about that, there's no obstacle. There's no challenge in front of me that's going to stop me from fulfilling that vision. And the ultimate vision is when I get to the day that God is saying it's time for me to go home, that I'm looking up. I came into this world smiling, no crying really, because I had a big head. But I'm leaving this world smiling, looking at my kids, smiling, saying, I'm leaving you something. And it's not just money, but it's wealth of wisdom. It's a continued vision, and it is money. And when I think about that, I get emotional. So I need y'all to spend, and I'm going to go through this, and then we're going to get to the workshops. I need y'all to spend just 1 minute, if you haven't done it already, 1 minute of what is your vision and why. And I really need you to, if you're married, if you're here with your spouse, I need you to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I need you to talk to him. And if you're single, that's cool. Talk to your homegirl that's next to you. Talk to your homeboy that's next to you. But I'm telling you right now, you cannot accomplish your vision if your why doesn't make you emotional. So 30 seconds, write it down. I see my guy right here. He writing. He got a ring, so he taking. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's 30 seconds. What's that vision? Why do you want it? Why? Why? FAMU's in the building. Okay. if you're having a hard time with that why, just write something and then ask yourself why again and go deeper. Seriously. Be honest with yourself. You're not going to share it out here unless you want to. You could be 60 years old. You still have a vision. You still have a why. Let me give you 20 more seconds. 20 more seconds. 20 more seconds. And I'm gonna ask for one. I'm gonna ask for one why. One why. One why. One why. Now listen, you should be feeling something in your spirit, in your stomach. That you should get a little emotional. You should get a little emotional. And this is, don't be ashamed of the season that you're in. Don't be ashamed of that. Be proud of the season that you're in. Single, be proud that you're single. Single is not a curse. Okay? Married with children, hey, great. Married, more wiser, man, that's your season. All right. I need one person to stand up and tell me their why. Oh, yes, ma'am. You run that play. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, what's your vision?
So my vision is to own 20 units.
20 units. Okay.
For artists. The front end of that is my business called The Compound.
Okay.
I'm a physical therapist, so taking care of. To have my business called The Compound, where I provide physical therapy for artists. I give them a way to stay injury-free, but then they also learn, video editing, podcasting, marketing, sales. So while they're going from audition to audition, they have a way to bring money, kind of like death to the starving artist. Then you have the 20 units.
Okay.
They have a place to live. They're safe. They can afford groceries. That's an issue. God has given so many artists these talents, but then they're struggling. They're living in their cars. So that's my vision for 5 years.
I love it. I love it. All right. What's your why, though?
My why?
Yeah, what's the deep why?
Well, I wanted to be an artist.
Gotcha.
And I was scared to be broke, and so I got my doctorate instead. And so I want to go and I want to help artists.
That's good. I love it. I love it. Anybody else? One more. Brother? Any brothers? Ladies always talking. Any brothers want to share their why? Ladies are always talking. Wait, did I say it like that? I'm sorry. I don't mean it negatively. I'm just saying the brothers are, we tend to be like, hoorah, I know what I got to do. Let me go to work. All right, no brothers? Man, you gonna talk, brother. Get this man his mic, man. I'm over here and I'm hoping he just gonna say I got you, but I'm just gonna give it to him right here, What's going on, man? What's your vision, man, and what's the why?
My vision for the next 5 years, I'm retiring this year.
Okay.
From
what?
From the Navy.
Oh, man, thanks for your service, bro.
20
Appreciate
years.
it. 20 years, yes, sir.
Yeah. So after I retire, I'm going to MSC. It's kind of military sea lift,
Yeah.
the civilian side of the ship.
Yep.
Doing the max is 5 years. My goal is to get about 15 rental properties within that time frame to get our house paid off and to start an RV park here in Jacksonville.
Okay.
My why is because one, I want to start our family business. So my sons, all them. It's funny that we having this conference, but sending them to trade schools so we can actually have our own in-house carpentry, electrician, plumbing,
Wow.
and we're gonna do our stuff all ourselves, so I can leave them a legacy.
That's good. That's good. It's good. It's good. I'm going to call out one thing, though, because I ain't here to preach to y'all, here to teach y'all. I heard everything about business. I didn't hear much about personal, which is cool, because we tend to go there, especially as men. We're going to go there, right? I'm going to give you this earn method that I live by that has shaped my entire life, right?
But I love hearing, want units, we want units. I love how, watch this, the vision is we want resources to leave financial resources. The reason why my first book is called Take Your Seat at the Table, and only 25% of it is about money, is because if we have the resources without taking a seat at the head of our table, all the financial resources means nothing. Nothing at all. I woke up one day, my net worth is high up there, right? It's high up there, right? And God said, you got money, but you don't have freedom. I said, yes, I do. He was like, no. You have money, but you don't have freedom. I said, God, what do you mean by that? He said, you're not mentally free. Wow. You are financially free, but you're not mentally free. I said, what? Y'all, the reason why I am still single today is because of my emotions. My emotions runs things away from me. You make all this money, but you don't know how to be emotionally controlled. I said, excuse me? He said, so yeah, if I send you a wife today and you have a child, you're passing down money, but you're also passing down lack of emotions. He said, we tend to focus on, oh my gosh, as long as I leave my kids with money within the black community, which is important. But also to our vision needs to be, are we passing down healthy mindsets? Are we passing down toxic mindsets with money? Because what we're doing is we're passing down this toxic mindset, and the finances is only elevating what is more toxic. Because the Bible says where your heart is, so is what? Your treasure. So for me, God said, I need you to flip it, son. I said, man. For a year, I had to go see a therapist and an emotional coach. Because my vision is I want to make sure that whoever's connected to me, I'm not just giving them money, I'm not just helping them get debt free, but I'm also helping them get mentally and spiritually free. And I started crying because I started realizing I was doing things that was toxic and I didn't even know it because it was normal within our community. Then when I started getting help, I'm crying and apologizing to my wife, to my kids who I haven't even met yet. Because I'm like, man, I wasn't prepared to steward you. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going viral right now because I was being honest. I said, I lost her. I lost a good one because I was not emotionally mature and ready for her yet. So now, yes, the money is there, but y'all, the vision part of me is like, yo, God, even for my business, I'm like, God, I need to be emotionally mature too, so I can lead better. I'm going to give y'all things. I'm going to give you this. And I got 15 minutes. We're going to get some more sessions in. This is good. This is really good. All right. There's this earn method that I use when it comes to helping a vision. I think some of us sometimes we don't really understand. I talk about this in my book, Take a Seat at the Table. Just so y'all will know, Take a Seat at the Table. A lot of us think we're taking a seat at the head of our lives. But the truth of the fact is we're sitting on the side. Society, culture, boyfriend, girlfriend. Watch this. Even your pastor is sitting at the head of your table. I love Bishop. Bishop will be at my table, but it's my table. He's at my table to give me guidance, to give me spiritual wisdom, to help me with spiritual direction. But he doesn't sit at the head of my life. Society, Instagram, TikTok. Man, I saw a phone sale yesterday for $58,000 just to get TikTok. I said, $58,000 for TikTok? Do you even have $50,000 in a mutual fund? We allow culture to sit at the head of our lives to tell us how to think, how to process, how to respond. These are visionless people. Because there's no way in the world I'm getting excited about TikTok more than I'm getting excited about my own life.
EARN method. EARN. Write this down. EARN. If you're going to have a clear vision, here's how you get to a clear vision. The E in EARN stands for evaluate where you are in life. You got to evaluate where you are in life. When I say evaluate, I need you to take inventory of where you are today. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your resources? Who's in your life? Who needs to be out of your life? How much money do you have? How much debt do you have? I need you to be honest with yourself. People who have clear visions, we know exactly where we are today. I know what's in my bank account. I know what's on my credit report. I know what my flaws are. You need to write down what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what is your God-given assignment, where do you need help at, who is at your table, who is in your life that should be and that should not be. And I'm going to say this, when you evaluate, you got to be honest. Before I published this book, I had to have an honest conversation with my mom and my dad. And it was a hard one, but my dad got it. My mama was still a little emotional about it, but my dad got it. I said, listen, you all are not sitting at the immediate side of my table because you never built what I built, but you're part of my life because you're my dad and my mom. But you can't help me go to the next level of my business because you've never built it. So you're taking up a seat in my life right now that I need someone to take your seat. And my dad was like, no, son, I get it. My mom was like, but boy, I'm praying. Mom, you can pray. I'm not asking you to stop praying. But what I'm saying is right now, for me to get to the next season, I need someone who's done it and built it times 10 to come and sit down and have access to my ear. And mom, dad, I'm sorry. What I'm saying, some of your family members may not be able to sit at the immediate side of your life. And the reason why some of us are not fulfilling our God-given vision and our God-given assignment is because we're trying to keep people who we love at the detriment of our vision, but while helping them accomplish theirs. So you got to do some self-evaluation. I have friends that I've had to let go. I love you, but we can't go to the next level together. But we can go play golf. We can go play basketball. You know what I'm saying? We can crack jokes. You get married, I'm coming. When I get married, I don't know if you're coming.
I'm just playing. Seriously, but I'm just playing.
But you got to, the only way you can get a clear vision and know where you're going is you have to be clear about where you are now. And we are fearful about facing the truth and seeing where we currently are. You know why? Because I think some of us understand, and we already know deep down, but we put it up underneath the rug that we're not in a good place. That we're a little embarrassed, that we're a little nervous, that I do not want to face the truth, that my finances is not right. But I look good, I drive a nice car. I walk into church, I got that head on, I got them heels, I got them red bottoms, you know, but the red bottoms is more than what I have in my bank account, and I don't want to know that. I don't want to face that truth because I feel good. I feel good when I get a compliment that I look good. I feel good when I get a compliment that's a nice car, but I don't feel good when I go to the mailbox. I remember living in Jacksonville, Florida, off of Bay Meadows Road. And in an apartment complex, we had to drive by the mailboxes to go to our apartment. I never looked over there because I knew what was inside the mailbox. Bills, late bills. I didn't want to feel bad. But it wasn't until I went to the mailbox one day and I said, I got to feel it so I can fix it. And when I felt it, I started fixing it. And y'all, do y'all know what? When I fixed it, I've never felt it again. And that's a part of vision, but the first part is you got to evaluate where you are. If you got a 580 credit score, why are you running from that? Fix it. You want to build units? Fix it. They say by 2054, we in this room, black people, we will have 0 to negative net worth. that we will pass down more bills than benefits to our children. Why are we doing that? Okay, we got systemic racism. We got all this kind of stuff we need to fix. But here's my thought. While this is true, we got to fix this stuff. How is it that LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, how's it that these people can find something and make money, but we can't even get 6 figures? It's because we don't want to face the reality of where we currently are and how we're making the decisions that we're currently making. I'm not saying that we got to fix some things, but here's my thing. I'm going to fix what I can fix in my house so that my kids don't have to go through what I went through. So that way, when I pass that down, hopefully they take the same mindset and pass that down, and eventually we narrow the wealth gap. Because I'm tired of hearing us say we got to close the wealth gap. What we're saying is we need white people to stop making money. That's not going to happen. So what we got to do is narrow it. So I'm trying to set them up, because a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So the vision is, I'm going to narrow it. Your vision is, you're going to narrow it. Your vision is, you're going to narrow it. By the time it gets to the grandchildren, it's narrowed. They're in a better position. But I can't do that if I don't evaluate where I am. Here's A. You got to arrange the vision. Here's how you arrange the vision that we're talking about, all right? Let's write this down. It has to be a smart vision. It needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be achievable. It needs to be relevant. And it needs to be time-bound. Let me say it one more time. A clear vision is specific. It is also measurable. It is achievable. Why are you giving yourself a vision that you cannot achieve with God? It needs to be achievable. It needs to be relevant. Where are you in life? It needs to be time-bound. And put this extra thing in there. Doesn't go with smart, but it has to be in there because we're faith. It needs to have some level that does require faith. Because your vision shouldn't be easy achievable, but it should be stretchable. To where it's like God has to be in it. That if God is in it, we can do it. But if it doesn't stretch me, it doesn't mean nothing. I need my vision to, okay, all right, God, okay, you got to be in it. Because if you're in it, it's going to stretch me. And the more I stretch, the more I can do. Here's R. And this is where we fail. Because if I'm going to be honest with you all, I'm going to be real with y'all. So I ain't preaching y'all today. Came to help y'all. Have y'all go home. And then if you don't like me, come back tomorrow and get a good word from your favorite preacher. This is where we fail. The R. You got to render the strategy. African Americans, people of color, we're the most creative group of people in the world. We know how to dream in the world. Can I be real with you? Be real with you. If y'all post this, edit this part out. Don't put this out there. I don't want to go viral for this. No. Let me say this. I love white people. But white people are not as creative as us. They take our creativity. They put strategy on top of the creativity. That's big. They put systems on top of the creativity. And they have resources and it moves forward. We think because we have the anointing and creativity that is going to happen, so we miss out on the strategy and the strategic part of it. And we wonder why we're not as successful. It's because we have lacked the opportunity to get the vision and strategy to get us to the next level. And so for me, I want us to understand that we have to render the strategy. Because a vision without a strategy is a dream. And where are all of the dreams? In this cemetery. This is why, I'm going to get in trouble if I say this. This is why I had to leave. Because I'm giving my dreams. They're taking my dreams and putting strategy on top of it. Making millions and giving me dollars. And I'm like, God, what in the... I can't say that. I'm in church. I said, God, are you serious? That was my dream. I thought about that. They took my vision. Be careful who you share your vision with. I'm sorry, single, beautiful woman. Be careful who you share your vision with. I'm sorry, brothers. Be careful who you share your vision with. Because what's going to happen, you're being vulnerable, you're being open, and you're sharing your vision because you think you can trust them. But God sometimes wants you to keep your vision for yourself. Put the strategy, get the system, go learn what you need to learn so you can execute it yourself. But what happens is that we'll share the vision with someone who has more resources, who has more systems in place. They'll take it and then you'll be upset. This is why, if you heard what your pastor said earlier, he had the vision. He shared it. Someone else took it and put a strategy on top of it. I've seen it. Bigger churches, now I'm going to say bigger names, but just bigger churches, more resources. The reason why he ain't going because he loves his community. I know his heart. So when you share this vision, what you're doing, and someone with 10,000, 15,000 members with a bigger budget, they can put that, man, listen.
That is so true.
And I'm like, okay, God, wait a minute. Wow. And so when I left, he said, listen, you got all this vision now. You didn't share some of it. Boy, go get strategy. Y'all know what I did? I went and paid a lot of money to sit in a room with a bunch of white people. I said, y'all want to steal our visions? I'm going to steal y'all strategies. I'm sitting in there, boy, I'm in there with a nice little, no. I started dressing like them. I started crossing my leg like, yes. What's your name? Oh, his name is Anthony. Yes, sir. God bless you. Oh, you were that Dave Ramsey guy? Yeah, I was. Yes. Good guy. Man, what you doing? He's like, man, I'm just here to learn. Here to learn. Yeah, man. What you working on? Hey, you see what? This is what I'm doing. Man, you should do this. You should do that. And they thinking that I'm going to be in this crew forever. In the back of my head, I'm like, I'm sitting down writing everything. I'm going back to the hotel room. I'm downloading everything onto the iPad. I'm emailing my team. Yo, listen, execute this, do this right here. The Negro side of me comes out. Like, look, this is what we going to do. Then the other side of me comes out, get back and like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Code switching for real. Because I want that information. I want that strategy. And what I've learned is that a lot of people in our community, I see gifted people. But every time I walk into a white church, there's some dope white preachers. I'll be real with you. But the majority of them, I am bored. But they got 30,000 members. I'm like, how? It's the strategy. It's the system they put into place. And I'm like, man, this anointed preacher can preach. Why don't we have it? Because we don't have strategy. So within my business, as soon as I launched, strategy. I'm not the most talented brother in the world. I know that. But in my space, can't no other black man outwork me because I got the strategy. I have the vision. I wrote it down. I made it plain. I went and got the strategy. I went and got the systems to put it inside, and I built a multiple seven-figure business in a matter of 1 year. Launched in 2020, I've never made less than $5 million in 1 year. Never. Never will. But no, this year I may. Watch this, because of the strategy. 2025, I told Bishop, I am going to slow back on my business because I need to step back so I can go further. So I'm in school finishing my degrees because I know in 2026, of October 2026, if I do this right, strategy, if I step back and maybe miss out on $1 million, $2 million, cost me. I'm in school every day now, Monday and Thursday. They ain't telling me they was going to ask me to be an adjunct professor. So now not only am I in school, but I'm also teaching these young kids. And teaching young kids, Lord Jesus. It's patience. Lord, I'm like, was I this bad at school? And they're not bad, but you can just tell that they need this information. So this is not something I can just give them and it'd be easy. Like, no, I got, when I get back home tomorrow, I got to fly down there. I'm meeting with 3 students because I'm teaching a consumer economics course. Just like, yo, I have no idea what you mean by budgeting. never heard of it before. I only have them 2 times a week for an hour and a half. But if I want to be effective so my dean is pleased with me, I got to meet with them before class tomorrow. So I got to jet back home tomorrow, well, class on Monday, meet with them, teach a class, get back home to sit in my 4-hour class, run my business. So I said, the strategy is this. I'm going to get the education so that no one can discredit me. So this means for a year, I got to be all in. So watch this. It looks like Anthony's not winning, but I'm sticking to the vision and the strategy to come back and win even more. So when you render the strategy, don't worry about what it's going to look like. Because everyone who's judging you, they're broke. Everyone who's judging you is not where you are and where you're going. So we want to, oh man, he should do this. This thing that bothers me, y'all. Sit down, Bishop. Sit down. This is the thing that bothers me. I'm single. And it bothers me. Why does a single man's voice has a higher voice than a married man's voice? And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about them. So it's like, for me, wait a minute, Anthony, why would someone listen to you when you don't have the degree? Go get the degree. Strategy. It's strategy. It's strategy. So I'm going to lose some money. 2026, don't get it twisted. If I'm not married by 2026, I may not be married forever. Because that money about to be right and tight. And I don't want no woman saying, how you doing? Nah, you ain't want me when I was, you know what I'm saying? You can't have me now. I'm going to be a mama's boy for the rest of my life. Shoot. You know, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Don't say that. Strategy. Watch this, though. Here it is. Watch this. We got to evaluate where we are, right? We got to arrange the vision. We got to find a strategy and a system that works. Watch this. Here's where we fail. Because I'm going to give it to y'all. Y'all come to church every Sunday. He gives you the strategy on how to live. I'm going to give it to you. Give it to you. Y'all come every Sunday. He preaches his behind off. He gives you the strategy on how to live for free every Sunday. What happens when we leave that door? We don't act on it. Here's the end. Now act. Okay, I got him a pipe. Brother, here you go. Appreciate it. You ain't do nothing. You just kept looking at me. You ain't opened the book. You ain't look inside. You just looked at me and smiled. That's what we do. Some of us will give us a strategy. They will tell you what you need to do. And all we want to do is like, no. Give me the book. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. As soon as you give me something, I start listening. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, you cannot take a seat at the head of your table if someone else is already sitting there. Really? Me and Bishop had an honest conversation. I'll let him tell you if you want to tell more, and we're going to be done. One thing about me I've learned in this season is that he's accomplished more than me. And I've called him. I said, Bishop, this is what I want to do. I never asked him for a handout. I said, just give me the strategy. I will work the strategy. Here's where he gets frustrated with me sometimes, is that if I don't have the strategy, I feel a little confused. And so I'm just like, Bishop, give me the strategy. If I don't have a strategy, I'm a little confused. I'm not looking for a handout. I don't want a handout. Because when you give me the strategy, I'll act. I'll put it to work. I'll put it to work better than anyone else can put it to work. So every time I call him, I'm not asking him for a favor. I'm just saying, give me the strategy. And when he gives me the strategy, he probably won't hear from me again because I'm working what he gave me. Some of us coming here on Sunday after Sunday after Sunday needing the same prayer. We need the same anointing. God, pray over me again. God, I fail again. What? You've been here for 10 years. He done preached this message 10 times. I'm going to help y'all out. This probably give me a little bit of trouble because Bishop want me to say this. He didn't say this. But Caleb Conference should be jam-packed next year. It should be jam-packed. You know why? Because y'all been doing it for so long. But half of us are not acting off of what we've gotten from the conference. So for me, every time now when I go into church, I take a notepad, I write down, take my phone, write down. And I'm intentional about making sure that whatever I learned, I apply it into my life. I act on what I get from the house that's feeding me. And this is what I told my team. I said, listen, man, if you don't practice what I teach, you can't be on my team. Because you got to put into work what I'm teaching. I can't be the only one in this house debt-free. Because then now we're not acting on what I'm giving. So everyone who works for my team, if they're not debt-free, they're close to it. Because I see them acting on the strategy that I gave them that accomplishes their vision because they started evaluating where they were. So if you want to accomplish your vision, and we're done, you got to earn. And if you're going to earn your way to that vision, watch your goals hit it. Watch money become not even an issue. Watch becoming a father just elevate you. Becoming a mother just elevate you. Just watch how when you work and I won't say infiltrate. When you work and apply that earn method, I promise you, it will change your life. Because y'all, for me to be here, I'll just tell y'all the truth. My fee is $20,000 went out. I get it. I'm getting it tomorrow. I'm getting it on Monday. I love my life. But I couldn't be where I am today without the vision, without executing, and without acting. But watch this. Because I've learned that method, because I also have a vision, the reason why I'm here today is not solely just because I love Bishop and I love your co-pastor, because I do. But it's also a part of the strategy. It's also a part of the strategy. God is taking that man somewhere. I want to be connected. So I'm going to continue to serve. I'm going to continue to love. When he calls me, if I can do it, I'm going to make it happen. Everything is a part of the vision. Because where I want to go in life, I got to be connected to him. And wherever he goes, wherever I can show and support, man, I got him. I got him. I was just at a big church. He knows where I was at. When I went there, I'm in backstage with the bishop. I brought him up just to name drop up. Not for me, because I want him to, yeah, that's my guy, that's my dean. Takes good care of me. I want people to know his name because he's opened doors for me. My vision is attached to his vision, to my vision. So wherever I can go to serve, I'm connected because I love him. I love his wife. And when I get married, my wife is going to sit down with his wife. God bless y'all.
No, we gonna act like. No, we gonna act like. Okay, so, co-pastor, come in real quick. Okay, first of all these books need to be gone. Even if you was or wasn't, I don't want you to give me the book. I'm going to purchase it because I've got to make the investment you have. And people like Gerard and James and Malcolm and people, Lynn, who have this circle of guys, this is all the stuff I say to them. And you're frustrating me because now I got to evaluate. No, like for real. Like I'm 60. I'm not doing this forever. So I can't blow it babysitting comfortable people. So, man, you God, you just messed up a lot. My whole thought process about my next 7 years at this church just got jacked up. Like, I'm ready to let people go because they ain't hungry. They at my table, but they eat my food, and they ain't going to the kitchen to cook nothing. I ain't giving nobody a job no more because I like you. You're a liability. Okay. Here's what I want y'all to notice. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Bay. Look at the gold box. Look at the update box. But here's what disappointed me. Look at the strategy box. So the Lord gave me, every year we write goals. This year the Lord said, add updates. Create a box, add updates, and let people put updates when they're moving towards their goals. But then one Sunday the Lord said, but add strategy, a strategy box. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, oh my God. Okay, St. Paul, and those watching. Did God just confirm everything we've been hearing the last month? No. See, y'all acting cute. I ain't asking for applause. I'm asking for you to acknowledge that you are in a church that is actually ahead of your life. In the next 2 weeks, this box should have more in it than the goals box. And in the next 30 days, I'm leaving this up here for the whole year. Okay, you know how I get when I hear God. I get real aggravated. Can we say thank you? All right, so, and here's what's scary. Lynn and Tamika, and y'all can go to your respective place. Here's how we're going to do this. We're not cutting anybody's time. Their time will not be cut. So your 45 minutes is straight. We will adjust the panel, but we won't adjust the sessions. So, and then we're gonna create space for a book signing. These books need to all be gone. Was this amazing? Man. Okay. So I'm not sure how we're dividing how people are going to class. Are they just going to go to a session and then, huh? Right. They're going to switch. But I mean, but how do we get people to go to? Okay, so here's what we'll do. This side go to the dining hall. This side goes to the educational room. And then you'll switch, and the facilitators will stay in their space. All right? Okay, so it is 10:43. So let's say 10:47, we'll start the session. And man, that just messed me up. Sierra, he messed me up. Oh my God, I'm so mad at him right now. And then 45 minutes, so we'll need a timekeeper, and then 45 minutes, and then we'll switch, 5-minute transition. We will create space to buy the book right after the panel. Panel's gonna be about 30 minutes, if that. Because after all the information you're gonna get, you're not gonna need a 40-minute panel. All right, and I promise you, he's got more books. So these aren't the only books. All right, so y'all are going to the educational room. So if y'all move quickly to the educational room, Jesus, Lord have mercy. I'm so mad at him right now. God almighty. And they go in the conference room.